then the question becomes very different. Because if we do not have a personal intelligence behind the creation, then everything is undesigned. Everything is a product of chance. There is no order. There is no reason. There is no design. I'd like you to take a look at a statement that appeared in one of my textbooks one time when I was teaching. And as you read this statement, I'd like for you to think about the questions the statement produces. Is this a statement of science? Or is it a statement of religious faith? It's interesting that when you look at what Huxley and other people have written, you see statements that are very different in this whole perspective of why you would make a statement like this. Adolphus Huxley said one time that the idea of the world not having a purpose, that there being no reason for something, offered great freedom. That this belief system allowed a person to be able to have freedom politically, morally, and otherwise. And if you accept that notion, then perhaps you have a very good reason for believing that there is no purpose, there is no design in the creation. But it has become a religious, a philosophical perspective, not a statement that is a statement of scientific evidence. And so what we propose to do in the next 4 videos is to look at the evidence that there is in fact design. Design that demands a designer. That there is a plan that demands a planner. That we are not the product of chance. And let me suggest to you that there are 4 levels at which that proposition can be investigated. The first of these is what I would like to call intuitive design. And the first video that we want you to take a look at that deals with this question of design looks at intuitive examples. An intuitive example is something where there's no big heavy mathematical analysis. It's just a question of looking at the incredible complexity that surrounds us in the world and asking, can we really believe that this is the product of chance? The second one is what I like to call architectural design. This is a situation where you look at things that appear in nature that have no reason to be there. I mean, there's no evolutionary advantage, there's no strength advantage, and yet they offer incredible beauty. They offer remarkable function to us. The third area of design that we want to take a look at with you in the series of videos on design is irreducible complexity. There was a book written some years ago by a man by the name of Behe that was titled Darwin's Black Box. And in the book, the author described some of the problems involved in some of the biochemical processes that happen in nature, but I think Behe's ideas can be applied on an atomic level. And we want to demonstrate to you some of the concepts that are associated with that particular presentation. And then the last evidence of design that we want to take a look at is the question of what I like to call the soft anthropic principle. And you philosophy students will just recognize the description of that process. But the question really comes down to a mathematical approach to whether or not chance is a valid explanation of the things that we see around us in the cosmos. These are scientific perspectives. And let me say to you again, we're not arguing here from any kind of biblical standpoint. We use the biblical quotes only to emphasize that accurately there is a description given that we can scientifically test that demonstrates the validity of the statement, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. And our fundamental message to those of you who are believers is you don't have to put your brain in a closet to be a Christian. You can logically and intelligently believe that in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. We'd like to encourage you to pursue these studies in more detail. The next couple of videos will look at the design issue, but we also have this material available to you in written form. And so we would encourage you to contact us, to ask questions that you have through email or in other forums, and enable us to continue to look with you at the evidence that there is a God and that it is the God of the Bible that we're talking about.
Does God Exist is an educational program which attempts to provide evidence that man can logically believe in God and that the Christian system presented in the New Testament is the best option for successful living. We offer materials free and on loan. Contact us by mail, fax, or email for a catalog, to request materials, or just to ask questions. Does God exist may be the most important question you will ever ask.